All right, guys, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thanks for all the nice words on the last video. It was definitely a surprise getting little Gunner. My wife and I took a lot of time to pick the name. Originally, when our daughter was born, we were thinking about naming her Zach. William, because my middle name's William. Just something I like to do. Boys have the middle names, and the girls have the mother's middle names, so it's like a carryover. But we were gonna name Peyton Zach, and when we found out that it was a boy, which we didn't know until we were in the hospital after it was delivered, because she was so early. The last sonogram, they couldn't see what the baby was because the baby was not helping. It was breech, it was backwards, and it wouldn't show off the goods. So the doctors just didn't know, or the nurse just didn't know what it was because they couldn't tell. So we still didn't know. When she got rushed into the hospital with the early labor pains and all, and we found out it was a boy, so we immediately started talking about naming him Zach. But while I was in the room waiting for her to get surgery and get operated on to get the baby out, I was just thinking, if he makes it, it's got to be a more powerful name, because he's got a real fight ahead of him. He's only 1.9 pounds, and that's incredibly small. If he's to make it, it's going to be a heck of a fight. And so when she came out of the operating room, I talked to her a little bit. She was out of it, obviously, coming out of anesthesia. And when I was sitting there waiting, I was sitting there thinking of what's a different name. So I just knew Zach, as much as it's a good name, and I was called Zach. My buddy used to call me Zach all the time, like Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell, because I'm a pretty boy. I was thinking I want something different, and so I talked to her, and we looked over a bunch of names for hours and hours and hours. I must have looked through thousands of boys' names, and I was specifically looking for boys' names that are like powerful, that say something about a struggle. So we came up with Gunner, Gunnar, Gunnar William Mosier. And then there was even a name, it was like an African name, Johnny, because my name is Johnny. It was Johnny, because we were kind of playing on words, oh, he's another Johnny. But we just couldn't do it. It just didn't sound right because we're in the hospital, like yelling, Johnny, go back to your room, or using the names as if we were yelling at the kid or calling them for something good, like just being goofy, but at the same time making sure it sounded right. And we just couldn't get that one to sound right in our head, as much as we loved the way the meaning was, because that was something to do with being a warrior. But when we saw Gunner, only one time it came across the lists, even though we saw other names duplicate times. We only saw Gunner once, and as soon as we saw it, it just stuck in our head. We wrote it down, kept looking for another hour or two, and we just kept going back to Gunner. And it means brave warrior. So he's got quite a fight ahead of him, being so little, 1.9 pounds. She was only about 23-ish weeks, which normal gestation is minimum of 32 to have minimal problems, and that's early. But 23 is real early. But with the technologies and medicine nowadays, they have much better chances of everything coming out good. And honestly, the wife and I have zero thoughts that he wouldn't make it. Now, I know this is all a channel about me messing up my motorized bikes and stuff, and I'm going to get into that in a couple seconds here. But I just wanted to say thank you, and to continue to keep him in your prayers, because it's needed, because he still does have a struggle ahead of him. But with all that said, me saying thank you, I just, wanted to mention that. So, all right. Now, to the bike at hand. I just woke up after everything being, up so early yesterday and not getting any sleep. And then today, I had my visit with my daughter. And I was just wiped. I just woke up. I fell asleep after the visit. So from about 2 o'clock until about 5 o'clock, I slept for 3 hours, which was really nice, I'll be honest. She's still in the hospital in recovery. The baby is in New Brunswick in a different hospital. They had to ship him over there because he's so little. They don't have the facilities at the local hospital to us to take care of him. So that's all good. Now, for my bike, because I really just want to get this gas tank on so I have my bike to use and get around on. Plus, it helps keep me occupied, so I'm just not thinking about other stuff. And there's a lot of other stuff that's going on in my head right now. So, I always do this so elaborate thing. Like for this one, I had 2 of these. I had it under this, so it's under the cables. So this way, and this would go over it, so it would sit inside the little pyramid shape. And since it's a fiberglass, it might, cut into it a little bit over time. But the amount I use the cables, the front derailleur and whatnot, like it's not going to do any harm really. And then I mount the tank over that with rubber on this, so it builds the up high. You know what I'm saying? It gets, see how thick this is, and there's not much space on these tanks to begin with. So I mean that's a good, half inch you're trying to take up, and you only got a little bit of space to do it. And I always do this elaborate thing on some new way to keep the cables, when the cables run over the top of the bar so I can mount the gas tank. Because the cables always come like this, they come to this and then they got an exposed cable, then they go to this, as opposed to like another bike where if I thought and got new cables, I could just run them underneath and zip tie it or something. But I really like using these because it's just, the way it is. I don't know. I'm an idiot, If I've never clarified this before, also, don't follow what I do in the videos unless it's like, almost never can you learn something from me, because I mostly learn as I go. I break it and then I fix it and probably fix it wrong again. So you might be able to learn the wrong way to do things so that you don't do them. But for the most part, I'm an idiot. And I have no problem admitting that. So when people come at me saying this is wrong, it's no good, that's bad, I don't care. I just don't care. But I'm one of the first people to admit that I'm an idiot. So with that being admitted, all of a sudden I came up with an epiphany because I'm a friggin' idiot. And what did I do with it? I already lost it. I already lost the new cable. Wow, I'm a horrible person. Is it this one? I don't think it is this one. Where did the cable go? It's not this one. I had one. Oh, there it is. I blended in, I couldn't see it. Instead of doing all this elaborateness, I'm just gonna run the cable, the sheath, over the cable right here, and then clamp the tank to it. As long as this thing's here, the tank ain't gonna obstruct the use of the cables. I'm a freaking idiot. For 10 months, I've been trying to come up with a good way to mount the tank over the cables, blah, 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 blah. And it's literally the simplest thing. Just use the stock sheathing. It's literally sitting in front of me, and I'm coming up with this crazy elaborate way every time. Even my buddy's bike for sale, I did it. My wife's bike, I did it. Like right now. Look, I had to put extra extenders on her. Here, let me zoom in. Look. See those things? I made those with big washers because it was like pre-drilled hole, so I could get it around there because the cables run on top. And if you look underneath, there's a piece of metal zip tied to the top, like a triangle shaped zip tie on top. Like, it's just stupid. Like, stuff that doesn't need to be done, I was doing. All I gotta do, put this like this, put the tank on, and it's not going anywhere. And it will give me the space I need to mount it. And the cables will work smoothly because these are designed to hold the cable and run smooth. I'm just flabbergasted at my stupidity. It is amazing sometimes how dumb you really can be. whatever, is what it is. So I'm gonna get this mounted up. I got the tank, now I gotta stand up anyway. I got the tank over here, I filled it up with fuel. There's a bug. Hello, bug. Say hello to the audience. But there's no drips of fuel. The two back ones were completely broke, like the welds around it. So I didn't play with it again. I just did all of them in a little bit of JB Weld around the seams, and I'm good. So no harm, no foul, no big deal. I should be getting a new one in the mail, but for now I want to ride the bike. You know, I put all this work into it, and I don't have my wheel. I have my wife's wheels, and she can't ride it right now anyway because of everything going on. So you know, I want to ride. Now I can ride. All right. So I'm gonna put the sheathing on the cables. I got to redo the rear to rail, front to rail, and I got to run the rear brake cable just down. I don't have any actual brakes on here for the rear, but I'm going to run the cable so that it's all running. I don't got to take the tank off again because once it's mounting, I don't want to play with the tank much because of the JB Weld and stuff, and I just need it to last until I get the other tank. James, I really appreciate that offer. I still might take you up on that offer because I don't even know if this is going to work. All right, I'm going to get started on this, and I'll zoom back in a little bit. I just wanted to touch base with you and tell you everything, and you know, give you a heads up on what's going on with the baby, and thank everybody for everything. So, all right, let's see what we can come up with. All right, good. So, Oopsie. Oh, that touched the thing. I gotta do something about that. I need to get a rack on here bad. So you guys hear it when I try to go open throttle. It's spitting and sputtering really bad. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I don't know if you guys can help me out with that. When it spits and sputters, I feel like that is supposed to be too much fuel. But in this particular instance, I do not think that's what it is. I think it's not enough fuel, to be honest with you. I think that's the problem I'm having right now. There's not enough fuel. Oh, I still got to get rid of that stupid thing. Look at me being extra dumb. I didn't take off the white wire. I'm so excited to ride. I forgot all about it. All right, let's try this again because I'm being dumb here. I'm just excited. I'm on my way to go visit my wife. So, if you guys know why it's spitting and sputtering or what you think, I am going to try fattening it up because that's honestly what I think it is. I think it's lean, but I don't know for sure. But she's doing good. But I definitely burnt my favorite sweatpants on the muffler already, the header. But I need to try fattening it up, raise the jet up, see what it is, because the jet is still not right. I know the jetting wasn't right because when I originally had started this with the other motor with the dial read, I didn't have, I was trying to get it jetted out, and with my window piston, I needed less fuel for it to run right. With the stock window piston, I never did anything to it. It needed more fuel. So I still think I need more fuel, because as soon as you try to crack it open and give it a lot of air, it just dies out because there's not enough fuel coming in. I also have to drill out the OKO with the 1.5 or the 1.3 millimeter jet and start with that too, because it's just not 100%, but she's ripping and she sounds good. Kind of sounds good, so we'll go from there. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, drop a sub if you can. I really appreciate that. It helps me out a lot. I'm trying to get my videos in front of more people, not because I know what I'm doing, but because I enjoy doing this so much. So drop a sub, drop a like, drop a dislike. I saw the last one, I got at least one dislike on it. I wish whoever did it say why they didn't like it. Don't like my face, whatever. I can take it. I'm a big boy, and I won't argue with you in the comments. Probably. Nah, I'll probably argue with you. But, you know, you could be internet thug, I don't mind. Either way, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, and keep Little Gunner in your prayers. Thanks, guys. Peace.